Doctor Doom. He is considered one of the greatest Marvel Comics supervillains ever created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. He rivals the greatest villains like Thanos and is even able to steal the powers of Galactus and even the all-powerful Beyonder. Victor Von Doom excelled in both science and magic that he practiced and sought it for decades. What brought Victor to be the greatest threat in the Marvel Universe, and what can we look forward to in his presence in Avengers Doomsday? Victor Von Doom was born in the country of Latveria to his Romani parents Werner and Cynthia Von Doom. Victor's philosophies are driven by a thirst for knowledge and mastery of sorcery, machinery, and science in order to avenge his parents' deaths at the hands of Latverian oppression. His mother was a sorcerer who made a deal with Mephisto to give her soul in exchange for power to fight against Latverian oppressors. Ultimately, she died at the hands of the Baron of Latveria's guards. Victor's father, on the other hand, who was a respected healer, died as a result of the harsh winter weather conditions he and his son endured while they were fleeing the same oppression. Victor always tried to excel in his studies and make sure that he understood science, machinery, and sorcery better than anybody else. And while he was at Empire State University, he met Dr. Reed Richards, and both became quick rivals. While testing one of his experiments to bring back his mother, his machine malfunctioned, leaving him scarred and deformed, which led to him forging his iconic armor and mask. Victor ultimately used his physical and mental pain and suffering as a driver to overthrow the existing ruler of Latveria and establish himself as an absolute monarch, while also being driven by a belief that only he can rule and that his rule can bring order to the world. Dr. Doom is a supreme individualist. He believes that he is the superior or great man over all the world, and that he can drive progress and order in the world. The great man theory is the belief that superior intellect, charisma, courage, and a powerful will is the innate foundation that allows certain people to rise above the masses and exert a decisive influence on world events. These people believe they are the primary drivers of historical change, seeing societal forces and the actions of ordinary, everyday people as secondary to their significance. Doom believes the masses are completely incapable of self-governance, believing they are corrupt, self-serving, and don't go well with the collective whole. And he believes that requiring his strong will and guiding hand is for their benefit. He believes prioritizing his well-being and vision is beneficial to the collective whole, even if it means suppressing individual freedoms. Of course, this isn't to say Doom only relies on himself as the only source for which his empire can be built. He believes that people working together is very important to a collective whole. His people in Latveria, for example, are provided basic needs, securities, advanced technology, as long as they display absolute obedience. If they allow Doom to suppress dissent and individual expression that thwart his will, order and prosperity can survive. Order and sacrifice are the greatest drivers of Doom's utopia, where the people serve the state, they are provided for, and the future of society leaps forward to end all pain, suffering, and establish security at the cost of their freedom. However, there is a paradox behind Doom's beliefs, as while he does believe he is uniquely qualified to make the decision for the collective whole, it doesn't allow for the community that he serves to grow future, superior, or highly intellectual individuals. This leaves a top-down order which will strain society's individual growth and will not produce an heir for his empire. It doesn't matter what abstract moral principles or rigid ideologies people believe in, if order, progress, or advancements are not made to make his perfect state. This is an idea that Doom holds as a pragmatic ruler, which roots his goal in society serving the state. Therefore, the CERT can ultimately feed, clothe, shelter, and secure them. The overall goal is hoping that the result is that society's growth is greater than the ideals it holds. He's concerned with what works to achieve his goals rather than abstract concepts such as a god, morals, ideals or beliefs if it doesn't serve and help the collective whole. And with that, Doom believes that truth is often determined by its usefulness. It really doesn't matter how he manipulates facts, creates illusions, or even engages in outright lies, as long as it serves the purpose of benefiting the whole. What matters is the effect, not the adherence to an objective reality. His objective reality is that nothing is more important than stability and order. An iron fist and iron will of a superior man are the only important things needed to bring about lasting societal change. Funnily enough, this philosophical discussion that we're having is precisely what Doom would despise. Regardless of problems created by nature, famine, or humans, or societal distress, he believes decisive action, whether through science, magic, or through his politics, are needed to solve problems, no matter the cost, as long as peace prevails. While it can seem like the ends justify the means through Doom's weighty and controversial methods, everything leads to serve one purpose. No matter how many people are saved or killed, no matter what forces he's using to bring about lasting peace, nothing will ever be enough. His obsession with power is the one true trait he can deeply root himself in. He prefers to have a peaceful, authoritarian, self-serving rule than focus on the rights and autonomy of an individual. The value of a person will be suffocated, self-determination will be squandered, and expression will be silenced for all those who serve under Victor's rule. Now, of course, what does this all mean in the grand scheme of things for the upcoming Avengers film? With all the wild twists and turns, and honestly the overbearing mess of the multiverse, it seems like the story will be asking both the Avengers and the audience this very simple question. Why aren't things better? Seriously, I believe this will be the question Victor Von Doom poses to the Avengers and, in a meta sense, to the audience. There are dozens of projects Marvel Studios has created in the past few years, and at the end of the day, they all have varying extremes of highs and lows. Unlike the first three phases, phases 4 through 6 are the most controversial in the MCU's history, which leaves us asking, why aren't things better? Really, why not? We have so much more content and storylines than we could hope for as Marvel fans. There are so many stories that are classics like Captain America the First Avenger, Iron Man, and even Thor, all at which point were B and C-list characters in Marvel Comics, and honestly didn't have the most known storylines. I mean, nobody really knew about Civil War until Captain America Civil War. All of these characters, all these storylines were backdrops to comic book titans such as Wolverine and the X-Men, Spider-Man, Batman, and Superman. So why aren't things better? Why aren't more characters getting the same love and attention as what I like to call the big three of Marvel Studios, or even the big six, including Hawkeye, Black Widow, and the Hulk? It's because there are too many conflicting ideas, bad conflicting ideas, that are leading us to and fro with no clear vision. I only bring about this not to rant and to poo on Marvel Studios, but to come to this fulfilling conclusion. This is why Doctor Doom is the villain. That's why this is going to be his story, hopefully like Avengers Infinity War was for Thanos. That's why we are going to get an answer. This is the only answer I believe Doom can give to ask the question, why aren't things better? Because it's not under my rule. It is imperfect. I am going to save you. All you need to do is relinquish your freedoms, and you will be saved. Thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed my thoughts on sort of, Doctor Doom and his philosophies. And of course, if you can, please share this video out to people who would really, really enjoy this. And if you have any comments or maybe things you want to correct me on, or philosophies that maybe you thought I forgot, please go ahead and leave them in the comments down below. And of course, like and subscribe so that way I can get more of these videos out and have a little bit more reason to generate this kind of content. I really do enjoy deep dive discussions and not just surface level storylines or character plot points and whatnot. If you really did enjoy this video, again, like, subscribe, share it out to some other friends that also may enjoy this kind of video. And of course, have a wonderful day, friends.